I want to start out this morning by taking a look at this problem that I assigned you to look at. Okay, so we're going to zip down to it. Oops, I went a little bit too far. There it is. All right, so here was the problem about the NCAA March Madness, and we're going to take a look at some of the answers here. A, B, and C are things that you should be able to come up with, so I'm not too concerned about that. D, the tree diagram, I just kind of want to make sure that you kind of got that figured out. Okay, so let's see if I can get this to move down a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. I think I can put the tree diagram in there, so let's try it out. So it says Darius is a 72% free throw shooter. Use a tree diagram to find probabilities of each outcome. So let's take a look at that. So we'll go ahead and first of all, we're going to draw like this. We'll say that he makes it is on the top. All right, so that's going to be a 0.72. And then he misses it, of course, is going to be 0.28 because I'm just going to subtract that from 1, right? All right, so now let's take a look at the second shot. All right, so the second shot I'm going to do here. And I'm just going to kind of go like this a little bit. Again, makes it 0.72, misses it 0.28. All right, so he was fouled, so he's making 3. He's going to shoot 3, right? We'll put that one in red. All right, so then here, we're going to go 0.72. Here, we're going to 0.28. All right, but we're also going to have that same situation here and here. All right, so now we got those done. So this one is 0.72, 1, 2, 3 times. So I want to go to the third. This one is 0.72, 1, 2 to the second, and 0.28. Going to use some exponents here to kind of write this a little bit more condensed. This one's going to be the same thing because he's making 2 out of 3. And this one is 0.72 times 0.28 to the second. So if you had something like this, then you're getting it, and that's just awesome. So let's go back here to the blue. All right, and let's see. I'm going to go down here to this shot. Okay, so this would be 0.72 here, 0.28 down here. And then let's see, that's not going to draw. Then we'll go back to the fire engine red for that third shot. So we're going to branch off and branch off, 0.72, 0.28, and finally here, 0.28 and 0.72 coming off that way. So I got this one done. So I'm going to follow this with a highlighter here. So this one goes there, right? All right, this one goes here. And this one comes here and here. That goes right to there. Okay. And this one goes right down to there. So the only one I don't have yet is this one. So again, this is going to be a couple 0.72s and a 0.28. All right. This one down here is a 0.28, 0.72, 0.28. So I'm going to go 0.72, 0.28 squared. This one's a 0.28, a 0.28, and a 0.72, same as I have up above. It's just a different arrangement. And then I have a 0.28 cubed, like I did on the top one. So then on that highlighter there, all right, let's highlight these ones out. Come on. So we'll go with this green. So that's here, and then here for that one. And here for that one. And here for this one. And last, all the way down here and here for that one. Okay, so there's my tree diagram. All right, so I can use whatever I need to find the answer. I got it. All right, so we want to know tree diagram, find the probability of each outcome. So now it's just a matter of figuring out what these numbers are. All right, so I'm just going to go into, come on. Boom, I'm going to pick that. So this one here, all right, is making all three of them, okay? So I'm going to take my calculator, and I'm going to figure that out. So I'm going to go 0.72, and I want to go to the third. So, oops, I think I went the wrong way on that one, folks. 0.72 times 0.72 times 0.72 equals 0.37. All right? So 37% of the time, he's going to make all three of those. And maybe you would have thought that would have been a little bit higher because after all, he is 0.72, right? But he's got to make all three of them, okay? So let's check this rest of these out, right? 0.72 to the second times 0.28. So now I get a 0.14 for that one. And you might think, man, this is going to be a lot of work. Actually, it's a 0.145. So let's put that in there. But really, since there are some that are being duplicated, they're the same. So it's not a lot of work. So we have 2 there, right? And then this one is the same. And that's it. So now I got to go and clear that out. Now let's go 0.28 squared. Oops. 0.28 squared times 0.72. And I get 0.05. So this one is 0.05. And this one is 0.05. And this one is 0.05. So that's not too bad because really I only had to figure out 3 calculations because these are the same. Now that one keeps disappearing. So now I'm going to go to this final one. And that's 0.02. All right. So if I add all these up, I should get to be 1, all right, or darn close. So I'm just going to do that just to make sure that I got everything correct. And I'm doing that on my calculator here. And I came up to be about 98%. So I'm pretty close, right? I'm off a little bit because of rounding, all right? But I'm pretty dang close, okay? So this 0.37 is probably a little bit higher, and these 0.05s might have been a little bit higher. But there it is, okay? So there is my probability, all right, that I get that. So then let's see what the rest of this was. So was it a good strategy to follow him? Was that a good strategy? All right. Well, the chances that he, what's the probability that he wins the game? Okay. What's the probability that he ties? What did he have to do to tie it? Okay. He had to get 2 out of the 3, right? So where does he get 2 out of the 3? Well, let's look at that, right? So let's go into here. I want 2 out of the 3, so I'm going to go with this one here. Let's see, 2 out of 3, so that'd be this one, right? 2 out of 3, this one. 2 out of 3, that one. And 2 out of 3 here. So if I want to find that probability, okay, I'm just going to add those 3 things up. Because again, it doesn't matter the order that he gets the 2 out of 3. All right, you could have even figured out, because it showed it on the video what it is. So if he gets 2 out of 3, okay, that was 0.435, all right, for 2 out of 3, which is the tie game, all right. So if you wanted to look at it for even more specifically, you could say, well, tie or a win, what's the probability of that? All right, so that would be looking at the 0.37 that he wins the game, and ties the game is 0.435. And so if I add and even that up, 0.37 plus 0.435. So a win or a tie is about 80%. All right. But there's a number of different ways you could look at it. He was a 40% three-point shooter during the season. Does this change your answer? All right. So then now you could look at this and say, all right, how does that 40% three-point shooter him change your answer as far as whether you think it was a good idea to foul him? All right, so you got to look at the percentages. You got to look at the probabilities. All right, and then of course you know the answer to G. So I wanted to make sure you could get that tree diagram figured out correctly, and then you could manipulate the answers that you got to be able to answer the questions. Okay, the tree diagram is a little confusing, but really it looked like we had a lot of calculations. But since some things are repeated, you really don't have that many calculations. Okay, but you got to map it out and get the branches and look at it. Each branch represents a shot. All right, you just got to think of it in that way. Each branch represents a shot. So each set of branches here that we have represent a shot. Okay, that's why I had 2 here, right? That's one shot, okay? And then I had to make my other shot here, and then I had to make my other shot here. So each set of branches represents a shot. Okay, so if you got that, that's great. I'm happy. Good deal. If you need some help with it, get a hold of me during office hours through email, and I'll go back and help you with another one. So this little assignment here is what I'm going to have you work on, and I want you to kind of work on it tomorrow, or sorry, what would that be? Friday, okay? And then I'm going to leave kind of Friday as a deal where you're going to work on that stuff, and if you have any questions or anything, get a hold of me, all right? And we can go through it. I might pop back on Friday, see, just kind of keep an eye and see how you're doing, and answer questions. Again, just get a hold of me, email me, say, hey, I want to do a Google Meets with you or something Friday, and we can set that up. Wouldn't be a problem. All right, that's all I was really wanting to do. We'll go ahead and make another one for you on Monday where we'll do more probability. Bye.